Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to show you how you can build member-specific client dashboards inside of Webflow. Let's get right into it. All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a live member-specific client dashboard inside of Webflow by using Memberstack and AirTable. Okay, so I made a video a couple months ago called Quickest Way to Build a Membership Site Inside of Webflow. I'm going to have it linked right up here for you guys in case you missed it, but a little disclaimer before we get going in this video. If you've never used Memberstack before, and you have not set up your membership site yet inside of Webflow, go back right now and watch that about 18, 19-minute video. That will give you all the foundation, all the basics for how you set up your membership site in Webflow. This video, where we're going to set up our live client dashboards, is going to pick up exactly where that video left off. So if you feel like you're missing a big chunk, it's probably because you are. Go back and watch that first video and then come back to this one right afterwards. All right? So just want to throw that out there. Be transparent with you guys, but enough rambling. Let's hop right into it. Here we go. Let's build some live client dashboards inside of Webflow. All right, so let's hop into Memberstack here, and you can see we have some test members from our previous video. We already have our plan set up, our gated content set up, and all that good stuff. The first thing we want to do is we want to add 2 new custom fields, all right? And I'll explain why in a bit. So we're just going to come to members, come to custom fields, and we're going to hit add custom field. The first custom field we're just going to call name. All right, it'll just be a basic name field. And then the second one we're going to add is called unique Webflow ID. All right, and I'll explain all of this in a bit. All right, so that is that. Now we want to go into Webflow, and we want to go to our sign up page. All right, this is the same sign up page we set up in the previous video. Now in the previous video, I only included email and password, but because we just added that custom field back here in Memberstack where we want to actually start collecting names, let's add a name field here in this sign up form. So we're just going to grab this and we're just going to copy in a new box just like that. I'm just going to bring it up to the top. All right. I'll rename it name, and I'll just come in here. I'll change the type to plain, and we'll just call it name. And our placeholder will be, Luke Skywalker. All right. So we now have a name field inside our sign up page. Now, just like we did for email and password fields here, where we added our custom attribute right down here, we want to do the exact same thing for our name field. So grab our name input. We're going to come down to custom attributes, and we're just going to change it. So it's data MS member, and we named our custom field back in Memberstack name. We named it name, so our value is going to be name. So that just basically says when I submit this name field in Webflow, in our Webflow signup form, it will map to our name field back here in Memberstack. All right. So let's publish that and we'll test it out. So we'll sign up for a new account and make sure that that new member shows up back here in Memberstack. So we'll refresh, come to my sign up page. Okay, so there's our name field. So we'll just type in a name here. Go with Vince Vaughn. Fake email, fake password. And we'll sign up. All right, save the password. And boom, we are into our home page, login page that we set up in the previous video. Now when I come to Memberstack, we should see this new user pop up. There we go, Vince Vaughn. And you can see that our custom field name has populated. So that's perfect. So our name field is linked. We're good to go. That's step number 1. All right, now step number 2 is we need to make a members collection inside of Webflow. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's come into Webflow, and I'll go to CMS, and I'll make a new collection. And I'm going to call this new members. Okay. Now I'm going to add a couple custom fields here. One of which is going to be email, because we are collecting email in our sign up form, and we have that in Memberstack. And then I'm going to make 3 number fields. Now this is going to be variable based on whatever you're working on. For this example, in our live client dashboard, I'm going to have 3 different sales KPIs that we're going to be able to automatically update in Airtable. All right. So in this instance, for my example, I'm going to have a month-to-date sales field. I'm going to have a year-to-date sales field. And I'm going to have a prior year sales field. All right. Now these can be whatever you want. For my example, I think it'll make sense in a little bit. These are what I'm using. All right. So you just want name, you got to have email, and then whatever KPIs or live data you want to present inside of your live member specific client dashboard. That's what you want to put in here. All right. So we'll hit create collection. Okay. So I'm just going to create a fake member here, and we'll just call this Owen Wilson. All right, I'm going to put in some dummy values here just so we have them, just so we can work with them and we can see what we're doing in the next step. All right, so I've created a little dummy value there. I'm going to publish it, and then that is the end of step number 2. All right, so step number 3 is we need to build out actually our live client dashboard inside of Webflow. What's it going to look like for our user? Okay, so to do this, I'm going to come to pages. I'm going to scroll down to our CMS collection page templates down here, and I can see I have this new template called New Members Template. Now this is linked to the CMS collection we just made called New Members. We can see it's blank. There's nothing here. So we need to populate this. We need to build out our live client dashboard right here. Now by using the Webflow CMS here and this New Members template, the CMS template, this is how we're going to allow member specific access to these dashboards. So it all makes sense in a bit. Now you can see this is not populating right now. It's totally blank. So we need to actually build out what our dashboard is going to look like. Now, lucky for me, I've built out this template already, kind of how I want this dashboard to look. You're going to have to build out how you want yours to look or use a clonable or something like that. I'm just going to copy here, come down to New Members Template, and just drop that in just like that. All right. So here's how I have this set up, and you should set yours up similarly, although it doesn't have to be exact. All right. So I just have a static text block here. And I have another text block that I'm going to link to our New Members collection that we just set up. And I want this to just say, welcome home, Owen Wilson. All right. Or whatever the name is of that specific member. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here for my month to date, year to date, and prior year sales. Remember, yours can be totally different, but for this example, we're going to just do these 3 KPIs. So I'm going to get text from month to date sales. And then this one, year to date sales. Drag this up so you guys can see it. And then this one, prior year sales. Now we can make this more pretty and all that good stuff, but for this video, you get the point. All right, so that's what our client dashboard is going to look like. Link it to your dynamic CMS that we just made in step number 2. Okay, so step number 4 is where things get fun. So hang in there with me, guys. I promise this is gonna make sense. So remember what our workflow is. We come here to our sign up page, we create an account, and when we create that account, we get a new member right here inside of Memberstack with an email field and a name field. So the second that we have a new member show up in Memberstack after we submit our form, we want to send that new member and all of its details back to Webflow to populate inside of that new member CMS collection that we just set up in step number 2. So we want to add them to this list right here. So to do that, we're going to use Zapier or however you want to say it. So let's hop into Zapier, and we're going to create a new Zap. All right. And we're going to start off in Memberstack. Okay. So we're going to choose an event. So again, when we have a new member pop up here, link your account. And test the trigger. Make sure everything's good. All right, perfect. So we found a member, Vince Vaughn. So we have email, name, and we're good to go. All right, so we'll hit continue. Now, when we have a new member in Memberstack, we want to send that new member to Webflow. So we're going to create a live item. Now, this just lets us publish a live item to our live site without having to publish. All right, we're going to hit continue. Link your account as usual. Link your site as usual, and your collection. Now we want to add this new member to our new members collection right here. So we're going to create a live item in our new members collection. And then we just want to map our fields. So email, we're going to map to our email in Memberstack. We're going to leave these blank right now because we have not got that set up yet. Name, we're going to link to Vince Vaughn in Memberstack. And then slug, this is very important. You have to add the slug. Slug, we're going to use this unique ID right here out of Memberstack. So this field right there. Okay, archived false and draft false. All right, and we'll hit continue. And then we'll test our action. And it looks like we are good. So an item was sent to Webflow about 2 seconds ago. So let's come into Webflow and see if it added. See if we added Vince Vaughn. And it looks like we did. So we're all good to go. Okay, so now this is where things get a little hairy. In order for us to set up member-specific pages inside of Webflow by using Memberstack, we need to give Memberstack a unique Webflow ID. This ID right here, this item ID right here. That way, when a member signs in, they are brought to their specific CMS collection template page or their client dashboard being driven off this item ID. But we have to get this item ID back into Memberstack into our unique Webflow ID field. Now we need to do all of this automatically, so we're going to turn back to Zapier to do this as well. So in the same Zap, I'm going to add a new step, and we're going to send something back to Memberstack. All right, we're going to send that collection ID back to Memberstack. So we're going to hit update member. We don't want to make a new member. The member's already there. Remember, Vince Vaughn's already there. We just want to update this unique Webflow ID field. So we're going to hit continue. Again, choose your account. Okay, so a couple things here. First thing we need to map is our member field. And so we're going to come to custom, new member in Memberstack, and we're just going to choose our Memberstack ID. All right. So that's the member we want to update. And then we want to come down and we want to update our unique Webflow ID right here. All right. So we're going to come to our Webflow fields, show all options, and we want to grab this field right here, this ID field right here, not the CID, that's our collection ID. We want our unique member ID right here. So you can see it's A3AC at the end. And if we go back to Vince Vaughn, you can see our last four numbers and letters there are A3AC. So that's how that's working there. All right. All right. Now, a very important thing we need to do here before we move on is we need to update this login redirect field. Now, what is this field doing? Essentially, when I log in, let's say I'm signed up on a plan. When I come back to the site and log in, I want to be brought immediately to my dashboard page upon login. The only way to do this is to do it in Zapier right here. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to type in /new-members/. Now, this right here, you're going to type in whatever you named your CMS collection back here. So I named my new space members. So I had to put new-members, but if you named yours something else, you want to put that in right here. And then we're just going to go grab our Memberstack unique ID right here, just like that. So essentially what this is doing is it's going to send us on login to our new members template page, but only for that unique member ID. This is how we're going to achieve that unique member setup. All right. So we'll hit continue. We'll retest action. And we just sent some data to Memberstack. So let's go double check that that's there. So for our Vince Vaughn member, custom fields. Okay, perfect. So we have our unique Webflow ID now populating. And down here in our login redirect, you can see we've automatically populated our login redirect link, just like that. So that's perfect. All right, so let's come back to Zapier and let's publish this, make sure it's on, and then we're gonna come test this in Webflow and make sure everything's set up correctly so far. Okay, so the next thing we wanna do is we wanna drop in links around the rest of our website to our member-specific page. Now remember, when we log in, not when we sign up, but when we log in, we will be redirected to our member-specific dashboard page here. But we want a way to get to this member-specific dashboard on other pages of our site. So let's just add a link here, and this is back on our homepage, and I'm just gonna call mine dashboard. But in order to link to that member-specific page, we need to add a custom attribute to our button here, all right? So that custom attribute is going to be right here, data-ms-action with a value of login-redirect. All right, so you want to put that in all your buttons around your site that link to your client dashboard. All right, so let's publish this now and test everything out. All right, so let's create a new user here just to test out our workflow. Make sure everything is working automatically. So we'll sign up. All right, so once we sign up, we should have a Rachel McAdams member created here. All right, which means that we should also have Rachel McAdams automatically added to our CMS collection here. Perfect. Good. With the email populated. Which means that then back in Memberstack, we should have custom fields populated with our unique Webflow ID here and our login redirect here. Perfect. So it's all working. Let's click this link that we just set up, and this should take us to our live client dashboard for Rachel McAdams. Okay, so perfect. So you can see we needed that link there to get back to this, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get here. All right. So when I log out and I sign back in as Rachel McAdams, with my login redirect, I am brought immediately to Rachel McAdams' client dashboard page. So that is all working perfectly. All right, so that's how we set that up in Webflow and Memberstack. But now I want to make a way that we can update these KPIs because right now they're empty. All right, so in order to do that, let's set up a database in Airtable and use that to update any field we want inside of Webflow. Okay, so step number 6, we come into Airtable and I've set up a table here, and you want to set yours up similarly. I have name, I have our slug. This is very important. You need a slug field, our email field. Also very importantly, we need a unique Webflow ID field. And then our 3 KPIs. Again, these will vary based on whatever KPIs or whatever automation that you want to present on your client dashboard is. But I have my month-to-date sales, year-to-date sales, and prior year sales, which correspond again to these 3 fields right here in our collection. And then very, very importantly, and I'll show you why in a second, I have a last modified field here, which is very simple to add. If you just come in here and you can choose your field type, it's all the way at the bottom, last modified time right there. All right, so that'll just show me the last time that I edit something right here. All right, so you can see it just updated there. All right. Okay, so the key here is we want to automatically add our new members to this data table here. So in order to do that, we're going to come back into Zapier to our exact same Zap we had earlier. We're just going to add one more step. So we're going to come back in here and edit again. And I'm going to add a step. All right, so we've, again, Memberstack, Webflow, back to Memberstack. That's all set up. Now we just want to add that new member. Every time we submit a form in Webflow and all that happens, we also want to add them to our table in Airtable. So we want to create a record. All right, which basically means we're just going to make a new line in Airtable. And then we're going to link our account like normal. Choose our base, which is just our Webflow job board base. And our table is called Webflow new members. So we're going to update a line in that table. Name, we want our name field from Webflow. Email, same thing. We want our email from Webflow or Memberstack, either one, doesn't matter. Month-to-date sales, we don't have yet. Okay, so just stay tuned there. Unique Webflow ID. We can, again, just grab this ID field right here from Webflow. Slug, very importantly, remember our slug is this slug field from Webflow, just like that. And then our month-to-date sales, year-to-date sales, and prior year sales, again, we're not going to touch for now. All right, so we'll hit continue. We'll test action. And good, a record was sent to Airtable about 2 seconds ago. So we'll come into Airtable, and we can see that we have our Vince Vaughn member automatically updating inside of Airtable. Now there's a couple extra lines here I'm going to delete for now. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now, what we want to be able to do here is we want to be able to come into these fields and add in figures. So I want to be able to come into my Airtable database in this video manually, but you can link this out automatically to, I don't know, Google Analytics or something like that to pull in automatically. But for this video, I'm just going to show you how to do it manually. All right. So essentially, I want to be able to come in here, update Vince Vaughn's year-to-date sales, month-to-date sales, and then feed that right back to his KPI section right here. All right. We want to do this all automatically. So in order to do that, We're going to come back into Zapier. Remember to publish your Zap that we just finished again. Make sure that's live. But we're going to set up a new Zap to send our Airtable year-to-date, month-to-date, and prior year sales to Webflow automatically. So we're going to come back to Zapier. We're going to make a new Zap. And this time we want to go from Airtable, new or updated record. So whenever we update this record, we want to trigger our action. Again, link your account and your tables. Come right in here to Webflow new members. Now, very importantly, which timestamp field should this Zap use to check for updates? Remember, we are triggering every time we update a record in this table. So this is why we had our last modified field set up in our database here. All right, so whenever I change a number here, you can see our last modified changes as well, which will trigger our Zap. So we want to use our last modified field, and then we'll hit continue. Test our trigger, make sure it's good. Perfect, found a record. Perfect. We'll hit continue. And then we want to send this to Webflow, and we want to update these fields here in our CMS collection so that they will pull into our live client dashboard page and our KPIs right here. Because remember, we link these. So we'll do event, and we will update a live item this time because the item's already there. We already have in our CMS collection, we already have Vince Vaughn there. We just want to update him. We want to update these three fields in his CMS item. So we'll update live item, and then we'll link our account again. Hit continue. Site again, link to your website and your collection that we want to update, which for me is new members. All right, now item is going to be our unique Webflow ID right here. Okay, so that's the item we want to update in Webflow. And we want to update our month-to-date sales field with our month-to-date sales, our year-to-date sales with our year-to-date sales, and our prior year sales with our prior year sales. Okay, and then we also need to, it requires us to do the name, so just link your name field as well. Okay, that should be good. And again, false and false. Okay, so we'll hit continue. We'll test our action and we'll see what happens. All right, so an item was sent to Webflow. So we'll come to Webflow, come to our CMS, and see if we have updated figures. So perfect. So all of these fields here are pulling in here to Vince Vaughn. So if I come and publish this now, just to make sure everything is live, we can test the whole thing. All right, so we've just completed all the steps. So let's go back and test our entire workflow, make sure everything's working. All right, so let's sign up with a new account for all your Pawn Star lovers out there. All right, so Big Hoss signs up. He's brought to the welcome page. Perfect. All right, so we should have a Big Hoss member created with custom fields of name and unique Webflow ID. Our login redirect is also already populated. Okay, to when we log in with Big Hoss's credentials, it'll bring us immediately to his member-specific client dashboard. All right, we should have when I refresh this, a new member inside of Webflow already, which we do, Big Hoss, perfect. All right, we should also have an Airtable, Big Hoss added. All right, perfect, so he's already added. Great, it's looking good. I can add in some data here for Big Hoss, and I will just manually run my Zap that I just set up. Now this will run every 15 minutes, but just for the sake of this, I'll just manually push this Zap here. Perfect. So when I come back into Webflow on Big Hoss's homepage and I click dashboard, I should get brought to his member-specific dashboard, which I do. And it looks like I already have his KPIs in because I just updated them here and ran the Zap. All right, so that's looking good. Let's log out. And when I log back in, because we set up that login redirect, I should get brought immediately back to his member specific dashboard every time he logs in. So we'll just come here. And perfect. He's brought in automatically on login to his client specific dashboard. All right, guys, so that's the end of the video. Now remember, I am using Airtable in a manual way here to update the KPIs, but you can link these out to whatever data source you want to feed into your Webflow client dashboard, like Google Analytics or something. You can link that automatically. So all of this is automated, but just for the sake of this video, I just wanted to show you how to do this manually for now. So if you like this video, go down and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. That'd be awesome. If you have any questions, get down in the comments and let me know. I'll try my best to help you guys out. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you really got some value from this video and you can build your live client dashboards inside of Webflow with ease. Anyways, I'll see you guys on next week's video. Peace.